Hey everybody, how's it going? And welcome back to Copper Jacket TV. So, Democrats have become completely unhinged over the Hearing Protection Act, currently in the House Ways and Means Committee. As a matter of fact, I have some video clips from last night's committee hearing that are just going to blow your mind. You're not going to believe what they have to say about this bill and about our rights. And that's just over the reduction in the tax stamp from 200 to 0, not even considering the full bill itself. But before I share those video clips with you, we actually do have, even though it's a small chance, we still have a small chance of reviving the entire bill itself. So if you want to see the entire Hearing Protection Act get passed by the Ways and Means Committee, make sure you continue to put on that pressure. And for those people saying that none of this pressure has done any good, consider that this bill wouldn't even be there if it wasn't from the pressure that people like you and I have put on them. They don't do anything unless they're forced to do it. So once again, I'll have all the information down below so that you can contact the Ways and Means Committee and tell them that you want them to pass the entirety of the Hearing Protection Act. Now let's go ahead and get into these clips because they're pretty outrageous. Now, before we get too deep into what's going on here, this video is proudly sponsored by Aura. Listen, big companies with poor security are getting hacked every single day, and your personal information is being sold on the dark web so spammers, scammers, and identity thieves can target you. I mean, just Google yourself. You might be surprised how much information is already available for anyone to see. Well, instead of just crossing your fingers and hoping for the best, get Aura. Aura monitors your personal data, including your social security numbers, across billions of data points like the dark web to alert you about potential identity theft, and every adult on the account, up to 5, gets $1 million in identity theft coverage. That's a total of $5 million per one account. But Aura doesn't stop there. With Data Broker Opt-out, Aura will help you remove your personal identifying information from data brokers and people search sites that sell your information to scammers and thieves. Aura also has 24/7 US-based support, a secure password manager, antivirus, VPN, and more. And you get all that on one app at one affordable price. Now, I personally recommend Aura, and you really have nothing to lose because you can try Aura free for 2 weeks. Check out the link down below or click the link in the description box to try Aura for yourself. Okay, so let's go and dive right in here. Now, I want to start off by showing you guys a montage of clips that was put together from last night's committee hearing. I believe it was put together by the NAGR. But this highlights not only their ignorance, but their absolute disdain for our Second Amendment rights.
As the father of a deputy sheriff, I'm disgusted that this Republican majority is celebrating Police Week while all of our police officers and law enforcement officers are in town by spending $1.4 billion to make it more dangerous for cops to do their jobs.
So let me get that right. That's 91 years of existing law that you want to upend in a Republican bill on behalf of the assassin lobby.
Because when a silencer happens, you don't really know where the shot's coming from. You don't know that it's happening. And so think about it. $1.4 billion cost over 10 years is about $140 million a year. So you know, that's not that big a deal. That's 700,000 silencers.
As a combat veteran, a lifelong hunter and gun owner, I can tell you this has nothing to do with hearing protection, but everything to do about making money.
A little bit more serious than maybe losing your hearing.
Like many of you, I can't say that I'm shocked. I'm disgusted.
It's shocking to me. I mean, here we have this 400-page bill, and I don't think this item would even have been discussed were it not for Mr. Thompson. But now it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I hope people will take note of this. Done in a giant bill in the middle of the night during Police Week. It really shocks my conscience, to tell you the truth. Maybe I'm missing something. And I can't even imagine that most of my colleagues on either side of the aisle are actually aware that this item is actually in this gigantic bill. So I hope that people that are here tonight that are shocked by this the way that I am will continue to discuss this with people so at least that people can be held accountable for their vote to have this provision changed that really makes no sense at all.
Now, the first thing I want to point out here is that they make it seem like this was snuck in last minute. It was just kind of rushed in there. Nobody knew about it. And it was this big surprise when they finally got to this committee hearing. That couldn't be any further from the truth. There has been more of a push from the public, from you guys, on this particular topic than I think anything else in the past. I bet you the Ways and Means Committee has never had their phones ring off the hook like they have recently. So this was definitely no shock and no surprise to anybody at all. And they're just talking about the compromised bill. You know, the bill that none of us wanted. We all wanted complete deregulation through the Hearing Protection Act, but somehow it ended up being this, reduction in the tax stamp. They're only talking about that, and they act like this is some big deal, big surprise. Now, the other thing I noticed, and I'm sure you noticed this as well, it gets me every time, is that they seem to watch way too many movies. Or maybe they don't watch too many movies, but they actually believe what they see in movies is real. They maybe watch Mission Impossible or the Bond films or the Wick franchise and think that's absolutely incredible, we can't possibly have that, when in reality, all it does is reduce the decibel level by a little bit. In most instances, you still need additional hearing protection. But they don't think that's how it works because they believe what they see in the movies. As a matter of fact, this is even reiterated by House Member Swazi.
And he probably wouldn't have been caught were it not for the cameras that were in the area. Because when a silencer happens, you don't really know where the shot's coming from. You don't know that it's happening.
So listen, they can say whatever they want. They can believe whatever they want. They can spin this however they want. But the fact of the matter is, this is nothing more than hearing protection. That is all it is. And no matter how they try and make it seem like it's something else, that's all it boils down to, is a small reduction in the decibel rating that might be able to help people's hearing, stop people from getting tinnitus and things like that. Think about what I've said in previous videos where a poll was done that showed that 70 to 80% of hunters don't use any hearing protection at all. They want to be able to hear what's going on around them. They want to be able to act quickly. And so they have nothing in, and all it takes is a decibel level that reaches too high to do permanent hearing damage. And so this is PPE. This is personal protective equipment. That's all it is. That's all it's ever been. But they're going to continue to spin it any way that they want. So again, I'm hoping that this doesn't just end up being about, the tax stamp. I hope this ends up being the full HPA. That's what we need. And again, it's going to be up to us. It's going to be up to you guys to make sure that you continue to keep that pressure on. If we end up not getting what we want in the end, then we'll continue to try. As a matter of fact, I believe House Rep Clyde and I believe one more House Rep have actually introduced another bill, which is almost the same as the HPA itself, to try and push it back through anyway. So maybe they were expecting this to happen. I believe it was Thomas Massey that co-sponsored another bill that's just like the HPA. And, if one fails to get the entire way through, then maybe this other one will go the entire way through. Either way, we're going to keep up the pressure. I wanted to share that with you, kind of show you the hypocrisy, kind of show you the anger that's out there, and just, I don't know, the lack of knowledge on the subject matter that they're making laws about. So anyway, I want to thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, consider hitting that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Thumbs ups, again, are always appreciated. And that little alarm bell will let you know when new videos come out. And I've started to respond to even more comments now. So if you leave a comment down below, I'm going to try and jump on that as quick as I can. And at least try and get to, the first few hundred that are out there. So make sure you leave a comment. I'll try and get back to you. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.